The sound of screeching tires and honking horns filled the busy downtown street as Finn Jackson lunged forward, his calloused hands instinctively reaching out to catch the woman who was about to face plant onto the hard concrete. Time seemed to slow as she tripped on the uneven sidewalk, her expensive-looking heels snapping clean off, sending her tumbling directly into his path. "I've got you," Finn said, his strong arms wrapping securely around the stranger's slender frame. The woman's chestnut hair smelled of something expensive that he couldn't quite name, and for a moment, their eyes locked. Hers were a striking shade of green that reminded him of summer leaves. "Thank you," she breathed, clearly flustered as she regained her balance. That would have been quite the embarrassing fall. Finn helped her steady herself, acutely aware of his worn jeans and faded t-shirt next to her immaculate business attire. "No problem. Are you okay?" he asked, noticing how she was favoring her right ankle. "I think so." "Just a twisted ankle and a broken heel," she smiled, extending her hand. "I'm Lily Kensington." "Finn Jackson," he replied, his rough palm meeting her soft one. "Do you need help getting somewhere? You probably shouldn't put weight on that ankle." Behind him, a small voice piped up. "Dad, we're gonna be late." Finn turned to see his 6-year-old daughter, Sophie, standing impatiently with her backpack clutched tightly against her chest. Her dark curls, just like her mother's, bounced as she shifted from foot to foot. "Just a second, Soph," Finn said gently before turning back to Lily. "Sorry, I have to get my daughter to school." Lily glanced at the little girl, her expression softening. "Of course, please don't let me keep you." "At least let me call you a cab," Finn offered, pulling out his battered phone. "That's very kind, but my office is just around the corner. I can manage." She smiled again, and Finn felt something stir in his chest. It had been a long time since he'd noticed a woman this way, not since Maria had passed away 3 years ago. "Dad," Sophie called again, more urgently. "It was nice meeting you, Lily," Finn said, reluctantly stepping away. "Likewise, Finn. Thank you again for catching me." As Finn took Sophie's hand and continued their walk to school, he didn't notice Lily watching them go, nor did he see the sleek black car pull up beside her moments later, or the driver rushing out to assist her into the back seat. "Who was that lady, Dad?" Sophie asked, skipping alongside him. "Just someone who needed a little help," Finn replied, already dismissing the encounter from his mind. He had more important things to worry about, like how he was going to make this month's rent after being laid off from the construction company last week. "She was pretty," Sophie observed matter-of-factly. Finn smiled down at his daughter. "Yes, she was. Now let's get you to school on time for once, okay?" After dropping Sophie off, Finn headed to his 3rd job interview that week. The position was for a maintenance supervisor at a local apartment complex, not glamorous, but it would pay the bills. As he sat in the waiting room, his thoughts drifted briefly to the woman he'd helped earlier. There had been something in her eyes, a genuine warmth beneath the polish and perfection. Meanwhile, across town in a glass-walled office on the 40th floor of the Kensington Group's headquarters, Lily sat with her injured ankle propped up on a cushioned ottoman, scrolling through applications on her tablet. "You really should have that looked at," her assistant, Marco, said as he placed a cup of herbal tea on her desk. Lily waved dismissively. "It's just a minor sprain. What I can't stop thinking about is that man who caught me." Marco raised an eyebrow. "A knight in shining armor." "More like worn denim," Lily replied with a small laugh. "But there was something about him, and his daughter was adorable." "Please tell me you at least got his number," Marco said, perching on the edge of her desk. Lily's expression fell. "No, it all happened so quickly." She tapped her manicured nails against the glass desktop. "Although, I do remember he mentioned dropping his daughter at Westside Elementary." Marco gave her a knowing look. "Lily Kensington, are you considering stalking a man you literally ran into on the street?" "Of course not," Lily protested, but the idea had already taken root. She was tired of the endless parade of suitable bachelors. Her family introduced her to investment bankers and corporate attorneys who were more interested in her family's fortune than in her. There had been something refreshingly genuine about Finn Jackson. Later that afternoon, Finn was feeling defeated as he walked to pick up Sophie from school. The interview had gone poorly. They'd wanted someone with supervisory experience, which he lacked. His savings were dwindling, and he had no idea how he'd make next month's rent if something didn't change soon. As he approached the school gates, he spotted Sophie sitting on a bench, her face lighting up when she saw him. That smile was why he kept going, why he worked 3 part-time jobs and still looked for something better. For her, "Dad, I got a gold star in math today," Sophie exclaimed, running to him and throwing her arms around his waist. Finn lifted her up, his troubles momentarily forgotten. "That's amazing, Pumpkin. I knew you could do it." "Can we get ice cream to celebrate?" Sophie asked hopefully. Finn hesitated. Ice cream wasn't in the budget this week. "How about we make some cookies at home instead? We still have those chocolate chips." Sophie's disappointment was brief, replaced quickly by excitement for baking. "Can I mix? You bet," Finn said, setting her down and taking her backpack. "Race you to the corner." As they reached their small apartment building, Finn noticed a sleek car parked outside that looked out of place in their modest neighborhood. He thought nothing of it until he approached the entrance and saw a familiar figure standing there. "Lily," he said in disbelief. She turned, her face brightening when she saw him. She was dressed more casually now in designer jeans and a simple blouse, but she still looked effortlessly elegant. Her ankle was wrapped in a supportive bandage. "Finn, I was hoping I'd catch you," she said, looking slightly embarrassed. "I wanted to thank you properly for helping me this morning." Finn was genuinely confused. "How did you find me?" Lily blushed slightly. "I remembered you were taking your daughter to Westside Elementary, and I may have asked around a bit. It's the lady from this morning." Sophie exclaimed, peering around Finn's legs. Lily crouched down to Sophie's level despite her injured ankle. "Hi there, you must be Sophie. I'm Lily." "How do you know my name?" Sophie asked suspiciously. "Your dad mentioned it," Lily replied smoothly, though Finn was certain he hadn't. "I wanted to thank both of you for helping me, so I brought something." She held out a small bakery box. "I heard Gold Star winners deserve special treats." Sophie's eyes widened. "How did you know about my gold star?" Lily winked. "I have my ways." Finn was torn between gratitude and discomfort. The gesture was kind, but he didn't like accepting charity, especially from a woman who clearly came from money. "That's really nice of you, but you didn't have to go to any trouble," he said. "It's no trouble," Lily assured him. "Actually, I was hoping I could talk to you about something." "Do you have a few minutes?" Finn hesitated, then nodded. "Sure, would you like to come up? It's nothing fancy, but we were about to make cookies if you'd like to join." "I'd love that," Lily said, her smile genuine. As they climbed the 3 flights of stairs to Finn's apartment, the elevator was perpetually out of order. Lily tried not to show her surprise at the stark contrast between this building and her luxury high-rise. Finn unlocked the door to a small but tidy 2-bedroom apartment, apologizing for the modest accommodations. "It's cozy," Lily said sincerely, noticing the hand-drawn pictures covering the refrigerator and the well-worn but clean furniture. Sophie immediately took Lily by the hand, her initial suspicion forgotten. "Want to see my room? I have a new rock collection." "Sophie, let Miss Kensington sit down first," Finn said, gesturing to the couch. "Please call me Lily," she insisted, allowing Sophie to lead her to the couch. "And I'd love to see your rocks after we talk." While Sophie went to get her backpack, Finn sat across from Lily in an armchair that had seen better days. "So, what did you want to talk about?" Lily took a deep breath. "This might seem strange, but I run a charitable foundation as part of my family's company. We're starting a new program focusing on skilled trades education and job placement. When you helped me this morning, I noticed your hands. They're a worker's hands. I'm looking for someone who understands construction and trades to help develop and manage this program." Finn looked skeptical. "And you tracked me down for this. Don't you usually post job openings or use recruiters?" "Sometimes the best candidates are found in unexpected places," Lily said. "Call it intuition, but I have a feeling you'd be perfect for this role." "I don't even know what your company does," Finn admitted. "The Kensington Group is primarily in real estate development and investment, but we have various subsidiaries," Lily explained. "The foundation is my passion project." Recognition dawned on Finn's face. "Wait, Kensington, as in Kensington Towers downtown," Lily nodded, watching his expression change as he realized who she was. "You're not just some employee there, are you?" Finn asked quietly. I'm the CEO, Lily admitted. It's my family's company. Finn leaned back, processing this information. So this morning, when I caught you, you had no idea you were helping one of the wealthiest women in the city, Lily finished for him. That's what made it special. You helped me because I needed help, not because of who I am. Before Finn could respond, Sophie bounded back into the room with her backpack. Can we make cookies now, Dad? And can Lily help? The tension in Finn's shoulders eased slightly at his daughter's enthusiasm. Sure, Pumpkin. If Lily wants to stay. I'd love to, Lily said, standing up. I should warn you, though I'm a terrible baker, Sophie giggled. That's okay, Dad's really good. He can teach you. For the next hour, the awkwardness of Lily's revelation faded as they mixed cookie dough, Sophie chattering away about school and her friends. Finn found himself relaxing, impressed by how naturally Lily interacted with his daughter, getting flour on her expensive clothes without a second thought. As they waited for the cookies to bake, Lily returned to her proposition. The position would start at $85,000 a year with benefits and flexible hours so you can be there for Sophie. Finn nearly choked on his water. That's generous. It's the standard salary for the position, Lily said matter-of-factly. You'd be overseeing program development, working with trade schools and contractors, and eventually managing a team. Your construction background would be invaluable. I appreciate the offer, but I can't help feeling like this is charity, Finn admitted. I don't want a handout because you feel sorry for me. Lily's expression grew serious. This isn't charity, Finn. I need someone who understands the trades from experience, not just theory. Someone authentic who can relate to the people we're trying to help. Your empathy and quick thinking this morning showed me the kind of person you are. The timer for the cookies beeped, saving Finn from having to respond immediately. As they enjoyed the warm cookies, Lily told Sophie stories about her travels, captivating the little girl with tales of Paris and Tokyo. Finn watched them, conflicted. The job sounded perfect, too perfect, but he couldn't deny that it would change everything for him and Sophie. When it was time for Lily to leave, Sophie hugged her tightly. Will you come back and make cookies with us again? I'd like that, Lily said, her eyes meeting Finn's over Sophie's head. At the door, Finn handed Lily a small container of cookies. Thank you for today. I'll think about your offer. That's all I ask, Lily replied. Here's my card. My personal number is on the back. After she left, Finn sat at the kitchen table, turning the elegant business card over in his hands. Part of him wanted to call her immediately and accept, but his pride held him back. Was she really interested in his skills? Or was this elaborate gesture just because she felt sorry for the struggling single dad who'd helped her? The next morning, Finn woke early and made a decision. He would meet with Lily properly at her office and evaluate the opportunity professionally. If it was legitimate, he'd be a fool to turn it down. Sophie deserved a father who could provide for her without working himself to exhaustion. He called the number on the card and was surprised when Lily herself answered. Good morning, Finn, she said, sounding pleased. Have you made a decision? I'd like to come to your office and discuss the position formally, he said. If you're serious about this, I want to approach it professionally. I'd expect nothing less, Lily replied. How about 2 p.m.? I'll have reception expecting you, after arranging for his neighbor, Mrs. Chen, to pick up Sophie from school. Finn put on his only suit, slightly outdated but well-maintained, and made his way downtown to the imposing Kensington Tower. The gleaming skyscraper made him feel even more out of place, but he squared his shoulders and walked confidently into the lobby. The receptionist directed him to the executive floor, where Lily's assistant, Marco, greeted him warmly. She's finishing up a call. Can I get you anything? Water? Coffee? I'm fine, thanks, Finn replied, taking in the stunning office with its panoramic views of the city. A few minutes later, Lily emerged from her office, dressed in a tailored suit that exuded authority while still highlighting her natural beauty. Finn, thank you for coming. Please come in. Her office was spacious yet tasteful, with photographs of various construction projects displayed alongside family pictures. Finn noticed a fresh plate of cookies on the conference table, the same kind they'd made together the day before. I had the caterer recreate them, Lily explained, following his gaze. though they're not quite as good as yours. For the next hour, Lily outlined the Foundation's new initiative in detail, showing Finn proposals, budgets, and preliminary partnerships with trade schools. It was clear this wasn't a hastily conceived excuse to help him, it was a well-developed program that simply needed the right person to lead it. "So what do you think?" Lily asked when she finished her presentation. "Is this something you'd be interested in?" Finn nodded slowly. "It's impressive. And yes, I'm interested, but I still have concerns. Such as, mainly that you're offering this to someone you just met, someone with no management experience and no college degree." Lily leaned forward. "Finn, I've been in business long enough to trust my instincts about people. I've met plenty of candidates with perfect resumes who lacked what you naturally possess: integrity, empathy, and practical knowledge. The rest can be taught." Her sincerity was convincing, and for the first time, Finn allowed himself to believe this opportunity was real. "When would you want me to start?" Lily's face lit up. "Is Monday too soon?" "I'd need to give notice at my current jobs," Finn said, already mentally calculating how to transition. "Of course, take the time you need." Lily stood, extending her hand. "Welcome to the Kensington Foundation, Finn." As they shook hands, something electric passed between them, and Finn knew this was about more than just a job offer. The way Lily looked at him like she saw something valuable, something worth knowing, stirred feelings he'd thought were long buried. "I have one more question," Finn said, not letting go of her hand. "Was this really just about the Foundation, or was there another reason you tracked me down yesterday?" Lily's professional demeanor faltered slightly, a blush coloring her cheeks. "Maybe I wanted an excuse to see you again," she admitted. "Is that so terrible?" "Not terrible," Finn said, finally releasing her hand. "But complicated. I'm your employee now." "Not yet," Lily pointed out with a small smile. "Not until Monday." The next few days passed in a whirlwind as Finn gave notice at his part-time jobs and prepared for his new position. Sophie was thrilled when he told her he'd be working with Cookie Lily, as she now called her. "Does this mean we can get a bigger apartment?" Sophie asked as they walked to school Friday morning. "Eventually, maybe," Finn said, squeezing her hand. "But our place isn't so bad, is it?" Sophie shrugged. "I like our home, but my friend Zoe has a backyard." Finn smiled, allowing himself to imagine a future where he could give Sophie more, maybe even a house with a yard someday. For the first time in years, such dreams didn't seem completely out of reach. That weekend, Finn's phone rang with an unknown number. "Hello, Finn, it's Lily." "I hope I'm not bothering you." "Not at all," he said, stepping onto the small balcony of his apartment while Sophie watched cartoons inside. "Everything okay with Monday?" "Yes, everything's set. Actually, I'm calling for a different reason." Lily sounded uncharacteristically nervous. "I'm hosting a charity event tomorrow afternoon at the Botanical Gardens, a family-friendly festival raising money for children's education. I wondered if you and Sophie might like to come." Finn hesitated. "As your new employee, as my guests," Lily clarified. "Sophie mentioned she's never been to the gardens and I thought she might enjoy it. There will be activities for kids, food trucks. It's very casual." The invitation was tempting. Sophie would love it, and if he was honest with himself, he wanted to see Lily again outside of work. "What time?" "It starts at noon, but come whenever works for you. I'll leave passes at the entrance under your name." The next day, Finn and Sophie arrived at the Botanical Gardens shortly after noon. The festival was already in full swing, with families exploring the colorful displays and children participating in various activities scattered throughout the grounds. "Dad, look, they have a butterfly tent," Sophie exclaimed, pointing to a large mesh structure where colorful butterflies fluttered around visitors. As they made their way through the festival, Finn kept an eye out for Lily, but the gardens were expansive and crowded. They enjoyed lunch from food trucks, painted flower pots, and Sophie squealed with delight when butterflies landed on her outstretched hands in the tent. It was nearly 3 o'clock when a familiar voice called Finn's name. He turned to see Lily approaching, dressed simply in white pants and a floral blouse, her hair loose around her shoulders. She looked more relaxed than he'd ever seen her. "You made it," she said, her smile genuine as she reached them. "Are you having fun, Sophie? We saw butterflies." Sophie announced, and I planted a sunflower seed to take home. That's wonderful, Lily said, crouching to Sophie's level despite her still bandaged ankle. Have you visited the maze garden yet? Sophie's eyes widened. There's a maze, it's my favorite part, Lily confided. Would you like to try it together? Sophie nodded enthusiastically, taking Lily's hand without hesitation. Finn followed them toward the hedge maze, watching as Lily listened attentively to Sophie's excited chatter about butterflies and seeds. Inside the maze, Sophie ran ahead, determined to find the center first, while Finn and Lily followed at a more leisurely pace. This is amazing, Finn said, looking around at the immaculately maintained hedges. Sophie hasn't stopped smiling since we arrived. I'm glad you came, Lily replied. I was worried it might seem like overstepping. Finn shook his head. It's a perfect day, thank you for inviting us. They walked in comfortable silence for a moment, taking a wrong turn that led to a dead end. Oops, Lily laughed. I've been coming here since I was a child and I still get lost every time. Some things are more fun when you don't know exactly where they're leading, Finn said, their eyes meeting briefly before they turned back. Dad, Lily, I found the middle, Sophie's voice called from somewhere ahead. They followed the sound of her voice, taking several more wrong turns before finally reaching the center of the maze, where Sophie stood proudly next to a bubbling fountain. You beat us fair and square, Lily congratulated her. As Sophie played by the fountain, Finn turned to Lily. Can I ask you something personal? Lily nodded, curious. Why me? And I don't mean for the job. Why did you go to the trouble of finding me after I helped you? You must have people helping you all the time. Lily considered her answer carefully. When you caught me, there was a moment, just a split second, where I felt completely safe. Not because you were physically strong enough to stop me from falling, but because I could see in your eyes that you would have helped anyone in that situation. It wasn't about who I was or what I was wearing. She paused. Do you know how rare that is in my world? People either want something from me or they're intimidated by my family name. You just saw someone who needed help. Finn was touched by her honesty. I can't imagine what that's like, always wondering about people's motives. It gets lonely, Lily admitted, which is why when I meet someone genuine, I don't want to let them disappear. Their conversation was interrupted by Sophie running over, wet from splashing in the fountain. Can we get ice cream? I saw a stand near the entrance. They made their way out of the maze, Sophie skipping ahead as Finn and Lily walked side by side, their hands occasionally brushing against each other. Over ice cream, Sophie regaled Lily with stories about school and her best friend Zoe, while Lily shared tales of the gardens from her childhood. Finn watched them together, a warmth spreading through his chest that had nothing to do with the summer heat. As the festival began winding down, Lily checked her watch reluctantly. I should get back to the event organizers. Thank you both for coming. Thank you for inviting us, Finn replied. It was a perfect day. Sophie hugged Lily tightly. Can we come back sometime? I would love that, Lily said, her eyes meeting Finn's over Sophie's head. After saying goodbye, Finn and Sophie headed toward the exit, Sophie clutching her potted sunflower seed and chattering about butterflies. They had almost reached the gate when Finn heard rapid footsteps behind them. Finn, wait, Lily called, slightly out of breath as she caught up to them. I was wondering if maybe you'd like to have dinner sometime, just the two of us. Finn felt a smile spread across his face. I'd like that very much. Good, Lily said, looking relieved. Because I'd hate to start tomorrow with my new program director thinking this was all an elaborate scheme to get a date. Was it? Finn teased. Definitely not, Lily laughed. The job is real, the attraction is. A fortunate coincidence. Very fortunate, Finn agreed. The following weeks brought significant changes to Finn's life. His new position was challenging but rewarding, and Lily was careful to maintain professional boundaries at work. Their personal relationship, however, blossomed outside of office hours. Their first date was at a small Italian restaurant, where Lily insisted on sitting on the patio despite her designer dress, saying she preferred fresh air to formality. Finn found himself opening up about Maria's death from cancer 3 years earlier, and how he'd struggled to rebuild their lives afterward. Lily shared her own challenges, the pressure of inheriting a family empire, the constant scrutiny, and her determination to use her privilege for meaningful change. By the end of the evening, they both knew something special was developing between them. Sophie quickly grew attached to Lily, who never tried to replace Maria's memory but created her own unique bond with the little girl. When Lily suggested they visit the Science Museum together, Sophie declared it the best day ever and insisted Lily join them for movie night the following weekend. After 2 months of dating, Finn finally felt secure enough in their relationship to address the elephant in the room: their vastly different financial situations. "Does it bother you?" he asked one evening as they sat on his small balcony after Sophie had gone to bed. "That I can't take you to fancy restaurants or buy you expensive gifts?" Lily took his hand. "Finn, I've had a lifetime of material things. What I never had enough of was authenticity, real connections with people who see me, not my bank account." She leaned closer, her voice soft. "The happiest I've been in years is making cookies in your kitchen with flour on my nose." Finn pulled her into a kiss that expressed everything he couldn't put into words: his gratitude for her presence in their lives, his admiration for her compassion, and the love that had been growing steadily since that fateful morning when she'd literally fallen into his arms. 6 months into their relationship, Lily surprised Finn by asking him and Sophie to accompany her to the Kensington family's annual charity gala. It would be their first official public appearance together, and Finn was nervous about the scrutiny they would face. "Are you sure about this?" he asked as they prepared for the event. "People will talk. Let them," Lily said confidently. "I'm proud to be with you." The gala was as extravagant as Finn had imagined, with celebrities, politicians, and business leaders mingling among priceless art and flowing champagne. Sophie, dressed in a new party dress that Lily had helped her pick out, was on her best behavior, though her eyes widened at the opulence surrounding them. When Lily's father, Lawrence Kensington, approached them, Finn stood a little straighter. "So this is the famous Finn Jackson," the older man said, studying Finn with interest. "Lily says you've revolutionized our trades program in just 6 months." "Your daughter deserves most of the credit," Finn replied honestly. "It was her vision." Lawrence nodded approvingly. "And this must be Sophie. Lily tells me you're quite the mathematician." Sophie beamed at the recognition. "I got another gold star in math last week." The evening proceeded more smoothly than Finn had anticipated. There were curious glances and whispers, but Lily remained by his side, her hand often finding his as they navigated the room. When she was called to give a speech about the foundation's work, Finn felt a surge of pride watching her command the attention of the elite crowd while speaking passionately about creating opportunities for those who needed them most. "That's my Lily," Sophie whispered to Finn as everyone applauded, and the simple possessive pronoun made his heart swell. 1 year after their first meeting, Finn had fully settled into his role at the foundation, developing programs that had already helped dozens of people secure training and employment in the trades. Sophie was thriving in school, and their small apartment was filled with more laughter than Finn had thought possible after Maria's death. On the anniversary of the day they met, Lily suggested they take Sophie for ice cream at a shop near where Finn had caught her. As they walked along the same sidewalk, Finn pointed to the spot. "Right there, that's where you tripped and fell into my life," he said with a smile. Lily squeezed his hand. "Best fall I ever took." Sophie ran ahead to look at the ice cream flavors displayed in the window, giving Finn a moment alone with Lily. "You know, I never believed in fate until I met you," he said quietly. "What are the odds that a broke single dad would catch a CEO who just happened to need someone exactly like him for a job?" "Pretty slim," Lily agreed. "But maybe some things are meant to be." "I think so," Finn said, reaching into his pocket. "Which is why I want to ask you something." Lily's eyes widened as she realized what was happening. Finn took her hand and got down on one knee, right on the spot where they'd first met. "Lily Kensington, you didn't just change my life when you fell into my arms, you made it infinitely better. You've brought so much love to Sophie and me, and if you'll let me, I want to spend the rest of my life trying to give you even a fraction of the happiness you've given us. Will you marry me?" Tears shimmered in Lily's eyes as she nodded. "Yes, 1,000 times yes." Sophie came running back just as Finn slipped the modest diamond ring onto Lily's finger. It had taken months of saving, but he'd insisted on buying it himself. "Are you going to be my mom now?" Sophie asked, looking up at Lily with hope in her eyes. Lily crouched down, taking Sophie's hands in hers. "I would be honored to be your mom, Sophie, but I know you already have a mom who loves you very much, even if she's not here anymore." "I think my first mom would like you," Sophie said seriously. "Dad says she always wanted us to be happy, and we're happy with you." As Finn pulled them both into an embrace, he marveled at how his life had transformed since that morning when he'd instinctively reached out to catch a falling stranger. What had begun as a simple act of kindness had led to extraordinary love, proving that sometimes the most unexpected encounters can lead to the most beautiful destinations. 2 years later, Finn and Lily stood in the backyard of their new home, a comfortable house with plenty of room for their expanding family. Sophie, now 9, was showing her 3-month-old brother, Leo, the garden she had planted with Lily's help. "Look, Leo, the sunflowers are taller than Dad now," she exclaimed, though the baby was far more interested in the butterfly that had landed on his carrier. Finn slipped his arm around Lily's waist as they watched their children. "Did you ever imagine this is where we'd end up when you tripped that day?" Lily leaned her head against his shoulder. "Never, but I wouldn't change a thing. Not even the part where you stalked me to my apartment," Finn teased. "Especially not that part," Lily laughed. "Some women chase dreams. I chased a handyman with kind eyes." "And I caught a CEO with a heart of gold," Finn replied, pressing a kiss to her temple. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over their family, Finn reflected on the journey that had brought them here. From struggling single dad to program director, from lonely CEO to beloved wife and mother, they had both found what they truly needed when they least expected it, proving that sometimes the most precious things in life are caught, not sought.